Beneath the barren, wind-swept landscape of the English moors lies a dark history, one of unspeakable cruelty and the lost lives of innocent children. For years, two seemingly ordinary individuals, Ian Brady and Myra Hindley, concealed a horror so profound that it still haunts Britain to this day. This is the story of Moore's murders, a chilling saga of manipulation, sadism, and the unimaginable cruelty of two of the country's most infamous killers. It was the early 1960s, and in the industrial town of Manchester, life for most families was tough but simple. The moors, just beyond the city, stretched out like a desolate wasteland, a place of eerie isolation. No one could have imagined the terror that was about to unfold there. The victims were young, vibrant children, lured away from their homes with promises of adventure, only to meet unspeakable fates at the hands of Ian Brady and Myra Hindley. Brady, an enigmatic and intelligent man, held dark fantasies that went far beyond the realm of sanity. Hindley, captivated by Brady's sinister charisma, was drawn into his web of control and manipulation. Together, they formed a deadly partnership. Their first victim, 16-year-old Pauline Reedy, vanished on a summer evening in 1963. She had been on her way to a local dance, but she would never arrive. Her disappearance sent shockwaves through the community, but it was only the beginning. Brady and Hindley perfected their gruesome method. They would lure their victims, take them to the isolated moors, and subject them to horrors that defy comprehension. The pair recorded some of their acts, capturing their victims' final, tortured moments in an act of twisted pleasure. Children, full of life and innocence, were being brutally extinguished in the desolate stretches of Saddleworth Moors. And no one had any idea who the killers were. As the bodies of missing children mounted, the community was paralyzed by fear. Parents clung to their children, terrified that they might be the next. The police struggled to find leads, frustrated by the complete lack of evidence tying anyone to the disappearances. Brady and Hindley were calculating and meticulous, leaving almost no trace behind. The investigation crawled along, with each cold lead bringing more anguish to the families. The terror reached its peak in 1965 when 10-year-old Alicia Downey was abducted. Her disappearance sparked one of the largest manhunts in the country, but still, the police couldn't find the predator lurking in their midst. The Moore's murders case went cold, while Brady and Hindley continued to revel their twisted games, evading capture through careful manipulation and sheer audacity. But the reign of terror couldn't last forever. The key to their undoing came from within. David Smith, Hindley's brother-in-law, had long been suspicious of Brady's disturbing behavior. One night, Brady invited Smith to his home to witness an act so chilling it would lead to the pair's downfall. In the middle of the night, Smith watched in horror as Brady brutally murdered 17-year-old Edward Evans, bludgeoning him to death with an axe. It was the final piece of evidence Smith needed to go to the police. Smith's report ignited a full-scale investigation. Police raided the home of Brady and Hindley, and the grisly reality of their crimes was finally uncovered. Photographs, recordings, and chillingly detailed notes about their victims were found, confirming the horrifying truth. The couple had been behind the disappearances all along. Brady and Hindley were arrested in October 1965, and the nation watched in disbelief as the details of their monstrous crimes came to light. The trial was a media sensation, with the entire country horrified by the depths of the duo's depravity. Hindley, who had carefully cultivated an image of a doting, mid-manner woman, was revealed to be every bit as complex as Brady. The recordings of the victims' final moments played in court left jurors and the public shaken to their core. Both Brady and Hindley were sentenced to life in prison, with Brady openly embracing his evil nature, claiming to have no remorse for his actions. Hindley, however, attempted to paint herself as a victim of Brady's control, but the evidence showed otherwise. She had been an eager participant in the crimes. The justice they received was seen as a small comfort to the families of the victims whose lives had been shattered. Yet, even with the killers behind bars, the horror of the Moor murders lingered. To this day, not all of the victims' bodies have been recovered, leaving families without closure. Brady continued to taunt authorities from prison, withholding information about where certain victims were buried, further cementing his legacy as a figure of pure malevolence. The Moore's murders are a grim reminder of the darkness that can lurk behind the most unassuming faces. Brady and Hindley were not monsters from a fairy tale, they were real people, capable of unimaginable cruelty. Their crimes left a permanent scar on the moors and in the hearts of the families who lost their children. The fear they inspired still evokes today, reminding us that evil can strike in the most ordinary of places, and even after justice is served, the shadow of what they did will never truly fade.